Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wheel of Albums. Along with my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I am Justin. What we do here on Wheel of Albums is we spin a wheel of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. We listen to that album for a full week and we get back to you and let you know if we think that album is something that you truly should listen to before you die. This week we're going to Texas, getting out a campfire, maybe a can, some bush baked beans or something like that. And we're listening to 1975's album, some say started Outlaw Country. Adam, who is this stranger we're talking about?
And that stranger is the one and only Willie Nelson and his 1975 country album, Red-Headed Stranger.
Red-Headed Stranger.
Red-Headed Stranger.
My initial reaction was, I have never heard this album before. Looking at the track listing, I knew Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, and I was looking forward to hearing what Willie had to give. It's tough to hate Willie Nelson. I've never met a person that says, oh God, not that Willie Nelson. Everybody loves Willie. Now, am I going to love this album? We're going to wait and see. I do wonder sometimes if people love the persona Willie Nelson more than the music of Willie Nelson. Adam, what'd you think?
Other than the fact that I once saw Willie Nelson open for John Mellencamp and Bob Dylan and blow them off the stage, he was far superior to both of them. I can't say I know much of Willie's catalog other than the song On the Road Again. So I'm kind of looking forward to hearing some old 1975 country and what Willie is throwing down, because he is certainly a red-headed stranger to me.
The Wheel gave us our first, I'll use the term country music. I didn't know if I knew these songs. Everybody knows who Willie Nelson is. He's a legend. He's an icon. I could only assume it was going to be Willie Nelson's song, not necessarily what I would call generically country music, because Willie and a few other artists just simply transcend all genre. So I was looking forward to this.
So Justin and Jack, where do Red-Headed Strangers rank on your trustworthy scale?
I feel they're a bit dubious.
Categorization of the level of trust of a red-headed stranger as compared to a bald-headed stranger.
Okay.
Raven-haired stranger. We're looking at hair color and stranger qualities. So what type of situation? I'm going to go with, if I had to seek an opinion from a red-headed stranger, what would I seek their opinion on? And it's sunscreen.
So when you hear the title, Willie Nelson, Red-Headed Stranger, the first thing you think of is sunscreen?
They're normally redheads, normally fairer skin.
Okay, fair enough.
So if he tells me what SPF I need out on the high plains, I'm going to trust the red-headed stranger over maybe someone else.
There's Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain on here, but I don't think there's anything about sunburn.
If you listen to the songs, a red-headed stranger also could cause you some problems. Do not touch a horse belonging to a red-headed stranger.
Okay, Adam, what exactly are you getting at here?
Think stranger danger. A red-headed stranger is someone who behaves in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Okay, nothing stereotypical about that.
With that being said, though, I think I certainly would trust them to help if I was trying to get away from another type of stranger, and that's a perfect stranger.
Oh, no, I know where this is going. And it's not the Deep Purple album.
Yeah, I'm talking about Balki Bartakamos from the hit show Perfect Strangers in the 80s. I never trusted Balki.
Okay, let's get back on topic here. Willie Nelson.
I think he used Larry to get free rent in Chicago. I think a red-headed stranger could have saved someone like Larry and gotten him out of the uncomfortable, weird situation that he was in with Balki.
Do not touch a horse.
You would find your wife pregnant, your cutlery is gone, and Willie's nowhere to be found because he stole your horse. That's the type of red-headed stranger that's being thrown down.
Okay.
I'm your fan, baby. I'm your fan.
Jack's topic is, he said that this is the start of Outlaw Country. He wants us to tell him if we think this is too dangerous or not dangerous or just the right amount of danger. Supports your answer. I found Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, and also Merle Haggard much more dangerous than Willie Nelson. And saying that, Willie Nelson would probably be best suited to kick the living crap out of me.
Willie Nelson was part of a movement called Outlaw Country. And when I was younger, I thought, oh, that meant that they were kind of like the Duke Boys out fighting with the law or anything. And then I came to realize it was outlaw in the sense that they were fighting against the studios, having control over their money, over their production, over if they were going to get to sing their own songs or only get to be songwriters for the Nashville production machine.
See, that is something I never knew. And when I hear Outlaw, I usually think of Green Grass and High Tides.
Red-Headed Stranger being one of those first outlaw country albums. How do I feel about this one in particular? This album perfectly captures the balance of making you feel like there is no danger at all in sight, but really Willie Nelson's kind of playing coy and making you feel safe, like he could be your best farmhand, but like most farmhands, he could strike at any time.
Yes, Adam, that's what I'm always worried about. Farmhands that are dangerous that will strike at any time. They should just call this the red-headed farmhand.
So Outlaw Country was a rebellion and independent ownership and production of music. When you call it Outlaw Country and listen to it, it's not dangerous.
If I have one knock on this album, I always thought Willie Nelson was a songwriter around this time, being a maverick as far as the outlaw country scene went. When I look at the songwriting credits on this, the only thing that Willie wrote was Time of the Preacher theme, and then Time of the Preacher theme, the short version, Bandera. And those are all short snippets. All the other songs on here are songs from other artists. Eddie Arnold, Fred Rose, Hank Cochran, Scotty Wiseman. Is that a knock against him? Well, I can't say that Willie Nelson was an innovative songwriter from Red-Headed Stranger, so that's a strike for me.
Hey, I want to do a song where my sister's playing piano and that's about it. The studio goes, no, we need horns and this and that. We need 17 guys with lap guitars or steel guitars playing. And he said, no. I'm an outlaw, baby. I do what I want. I'm going to put out Red-Headed Stranger.
You know, the production on this is kind of really sparse, and it makes for an album you would maybe listen to while you're sitting on a porch staring out at the prairie, watching someone in the distance approach your home on a Sunday afternoon, kind of just get lost in the music. And there's 15 tracks on it, and kind of one moves into another, and it's just kind of a constant flow there. And I kind of feel like the feel of this album is captured perfectly for, I think, what Willie Nelson was trying to do here.
I like its technique, and then it's incorporating the old with Willie Nelson's version of the current or the future perceived concept for a film that eventually he made maybe about 10 years later.
That starred Willie Nelson. The synopsis on that one is the Reverend Shea, who was Willie Nelson, moves out west to set up his new home in Montana so that he can spread God's word. But when his wife, Rasha, played by Morgan Fairchild, leaves him for another man, in part because she wants to return to Philadelphia, Willie Nelson decides to replace his spiritual ways with a gun. Gives you chills, doesn't it?
He's telling a story. He's not necessarily singing your song.
And to me, the stories and songs are kind of boring.
He wants to get from A to B, and he incorporates a song that already exists and basically writes a backstory to the song. And then a ongoing continuation of, well, what happens to the red-headed stranger after he kills the woman for touching his horse?
Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, fantastic song, and I think that was the big hit from the album. Red-Headed Stranger, Down Yonder, Hands on the Wheel. There's little moments in a lot of the songs that you kind of, I kind of enjoyed.
Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain is a fabulous song, but a lot of the other songs felt like they followed the same structure. He feels more one-dimensional when you listen to him a bunch of times in a week.
The lighter touch was utilized by Willie Nelson in this. If you would play it, I wouldn't even jump up and say, hey, it's a country album. This is just a story, and it has a musical backdrop. It's an interesting choice by Willie Nelson, and it should be admired.
I think a Red-Headed Stranger could have saved someone like Larry and gotten him out of the uncomfortable, weird situation that he was in with Balky.
Our numbers that will go down in history for a Red-Headed Stranger by Willie Nelson. Jack was in the mid this time, 5.53. Adam, a 5.867. And I was the lowest with the 5.467. Very similar scores here for an overall rating of 5.62. Our three favorite songs. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, that is a dandy. Red-Headed Stranger was good too. too. And Remember Me When the Candle Lights Are Gleaming, I enjoyed that too. Worst tied, Bandera, which is a Willie Nelson penned song, and Over the Waves. Must you listen to Red-Headed Stranger by Willie Nelson before you die? Adam, I have also seen Willie Nelson in concert. He was in Farm Aid when we saw it in Chicago about 20 years ago. Also performing that night, Neil Young. And my favorite moment of the whole night was Neil Young, and he does the first verse of Old Man, and then all of a sudden, with the banjo in his hand, Willie Nelson shows up. Tear-jerking. Willie Nelson has moments that makes him a bona fide star, and he is a strong persona, and I do love everything about the guy. This album, though, was too hard for me to listen to. I appreciate what it is. I appreciate Jack showing that Outlaw Country is really showing the corporations who's boss, the performer themselves, but I don't think this is an album you must hear before you die. It's very one-dimensional to me. Jack, in one of the clips you had titled to me, it said less is more. Well, guess what? More is more sometimes too. What'd you think of this one?
This is a concept album. We've ran into a few concept albums over the course of the Wheel of Albums. This one to me works only because it's so subtle and it kind of does move along quickly. Even though he didn't write the song Red-Headed Stranger, this album gave him the nickname of he's the Red-Headed Stranger. So ultimately my answer to Must You Hear Red-Headed Stranger by Willie Nelson before you die, I say yes. Follow the story and then try to decide if you have a sympathetic feeling for the Red-Headed Stranger, or if you're worried about the Red-Headed Stranger, or has he paid his price and has he been given forgiveness?
All right, Adam, it's up to you to break that tie.
In the grand reality of things, I would like this album a lot. But if this particular Red-Headed Stranger has been a stranger all of your life, I don't particularly think you need to go out looking for it. So it's a no for me on should you hear this before you die. For some reason, it comes across your path, then be nice to it. Give it a spin. Give it a little Southern hospitality, but only if it crosses your path. Because Willie Nelson is out for vengeance.
In the softest way possible. Jack gets the wheel for next week. What are you going to spin, Jack?
It's wheel spinning time, boys and girls. Wheel spinning time. The wheel is slowing down and... Okay. I do not know this record or this band at all. It is 2010's High Violet by The National.
Follow along on Spotify for new episodes each Monday, and hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube as well. Get out the top shelf scotch for next week. See you then.
Boy, so there's a lot of different ways you could go with a comedy or drama western using Red-Headed Stranger.
Unfamiliarity with country, which is something I don't normally listen to, with the exception of basically Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings, and Johnny Cash. I liked when they would team up and do songs together, rib each other. There's, I think, at least 2 albums of The Highwaymen where they're singing songs together. Here's something I remember. One time we saw Willie Nelson, and in the intermission between acts, obviously, they play music over the stereo system. They played Willie Nelson songs during the intermission of a Willie Nelson concert. That's Outlaw.
And that is the right balance, power, and danger that Willie Nelson's throwing down on this album.
High Violet by The National on the next Wheel of Albums.
I never trusted Balky.